So, what is Studio Triger cooking, everyone? So hello, everyone here. This is a cooking anime, I guess, kinda, right? And I'm a big fan of souma and so on. I'm actually a big fan of Gordon Ramsay, etc. I was like cooking, and my father was a chef for years when I was a kid. So he's a chef and a engineer, but he was a chef until I was like 8 or so, and taught me a lot of, and I love cooking as well, right? So I actually really do like cooking animes. Like I said, Souma, of course, is my favorite, right? And I watch Master Chef or Hell's Kitchen or whatever. Everything good. I do really like Gordon Ramsay, but I mean, I watch other cooking, the taste or whatever, so as well. Yeah, I really cooking. And also, I love Studio Triger, right? One of the best animes of all time. It's all crazy. Got a bunch of, 02s or whatever, and so on, right? The Ryoko and so on. Little Witch Academia, etc. I'm a big fan of Studio Triger. I really, really am. Cyberpunk was terrible, though. I'm just kidding. It's a great anime as well, of course. But this anime, I have to say, dungeon cooking, or whatever, it does feel like the weirdest Trigger thing to ever do. And in like a different way, right? Because Trigger is always like over the top, very weird, very cool. Again, arguably it's my favorite anime studio, right? But Trigger does over the top stuff by themselves. And that's why I do feel this anime here is very special in a sense, because every other anime that they basically do is their own stuff, right? Like this anime, of course, this anime, these original animes, right? Trigger is actually one of the few studios they use original animes, more or less, right? Bones is coming out with Metallic Rogue this season, which I think is the best new original anime, much likely so. And even though Cyberpunk was based, right, in, of course, the Cyberpunk universe, the video game, of course, it was still an original anime, right? New characters, whatever, but inside that lore, so they could do whatever they want, basically, from the story aspect and so on, right? So this is the first anime I think that I've seen in a long time from Trigger, which is based on a manga. And honestly, I am not a big fan of that, right? I mean, maybe since it might be an amazing anime. Of course, we're gonna do a first impression, reaction, reviews on this video, right? It might still be an amazing anime. But honestly, I'm not a big fan that Trigger is doing, based on a manga. I want them to do the regular stuff. I want them to go crazy with their ideas, right? This does feel like the only time I feel where they don't have the... unless they just completely ignore the manga, right? And just base it on the same universe, but I very much doubt so. So I do think it's going to be the least over-the-top Trigger we have seen in years, many, many years. Probably, yeah, because everything else basically is original anime, right? Even Cyberpunk, right? Just basically the lore, and then you just do what they want. So I think it's very interesting. Lastly, this is also a Netflix show, I guess, primarily. And that's probably a trend as well, right? So we saw Netflix, of course, having great success with Cyberpunk. And that's probably why they want to make more Trigger stuff, right? And of course, they also had, for example, a One Piece live action went really well. So now they're buying like a One Piece remake, right? So it's a trend, Netflix is kind of like, oh, this thing works, let's do more of that, right? So, but again, it feels like they basically hired Trigger to make more anime for them, right? Like Cyberpunk. But I don't know why they picked up a cooking show. But maybe, I'll not be negative, but I'm just saying that it doesn't feel like a Trigger anime at all from a premise standpoint. Unless it's cooking in space, right? But anyway, let's watch the episode and see what happens. I'm just going to put the timer on. So give a second. There we go. So, 3, 2, 1, and go. Yeah, sorry about that. Now it's like weird that I put the timer, basically. This might be simply the best anime. I'm just saying that I think this should be the least Trigger show we've ever seen, right? Because they can't go to space, they can't do this crazy twist or whatever, and so on, right? But anyway, now it's just like a recapping the... Yeah, it's like a dungeon or whatever, right? Yeah. But the general storyline is like heroes, adventurers, going into a dungeon. Like Dalmatia or whatever. And that was to remind me that my top 10 video, as I promised, it is finished, right? My top 10 video is finished. I'm just waiting for YouTube to approve it, basically, right? Because every video I do, as I will keep saying, and really, if you like this video on the channel, please subscribe to the person, right? Because every video I do gets immediately shadow banned, the and so on, right? And that video as well. So I'm letting YouTube review it manually before they can review private videos, right? So I'm just I finished top 10 video yesterday, and I'm just letting YouTube. I'm just waiting for their reviewers to look at it before because then I can publish it without being, you know. But it feels really silly, of course. But now it starts. Yeah, this is the main character, I think, or what? Or it's like a party, right? You know, it's like a dwarf and elf girl, right? Yeah. I mean, it's typical fantasy party. Yeah, exactly. That's like the party members. The elf girl, like a male warrior, you know, elf chick, a dwarf guy. Yeah, like a priest. And now it's clearly like, yeah, oh my god, yeah, it's clearly like saving Nissan. Okay. Yeah. This is clearly a priest. Oh, they escaped. Well, maybe that person could still throw the like teleport spell while you're all. But only he escaped though. Okay, the volume is really low. Let me. Oh, here's the elf girl too, though. Yeah, she's like clearly the female main character, right? Yeah, the sister. Honestly, I wasn't sure of the other sister. It sounded like a female voice actor, but could have been. Okay, they're not all the gear. Oh, it's like a halfling probably. Yeah, he's leaving. No, okay. I like it's like a heuristic. Yeah, it's like I'm leaving this job. Yeah, it's like. Okay, it's very expensive being a hero. And it's very expensive. Oh, we can't afford the salaries. Okay, yeah, it's like we can't afford the salaries. Oh no, we lost the dwarf. We couldn't. He's too expensive. What? I like he's so casual about it. We only have like 3 days to save my sister. Yeah, we need to like hire some new guys to save her. So it seems to be like a really. Oh, here we go. She's hungry. Yeah, I mean it's a cooking anime somehow, right? But in a fantasy world, so. And they're gonna eat monsters or whatever. They're gonna like substitute. They have no money, so they're gonna go and like, I don't know, defeat a dragon and eat it or something, right? But usually you eat monsters in video games. Yeah, most RPGs you would be able to, or RPG. Here we go. He's like, what if we cook the dragon? You two will leave so I can take your stuff. What a strategy. I'll take your items and sell them. Like, what? Oh, yeah, he's just gonna sneak through everything. He's gonna play stealth. Okay, he's like, I'm gonna stealth through everything. Great strategy. Okay, the anime is very crisp, though. I'll be wrong. The anime is very crisp. Yeah, I also will save. Yeah, she's my best friend, probably. Exactly. Daisuke. Yeah, she's my bestie, right? Exactly. I have to save my best friend. Yeah, so she's, of course, she's the female. And he's like, yes, he's the halfling rogue. Of course he is, or thief or something. Of course he is. The tiny guy. Okay, he has not trusted them at all. The anime looks really good. Like, yeah, it's very, very crisp, very visual. Here we go. Now he's like, let's cook the dragon. Here we go. Now he's like, we're gonna be cooking. Trigger is like the dragon. There has to be great nutrition in the dragon, guys. Yes, that's right. We can eat the dragon. Yeah, it's like, no, it's something we want to eat the plants first and foremost. Well, I guess he's like, the dragon eats something. So what if we eat what the dragon eats? It's like, what else does the dragon eat? Other monsters? I don't know. Yes, it has to be a rabbit or something down there that they eat. Wait, it's not. Wait, it's not even. They're not the first doing it, right? It's like open to do, yeah. It might be poisonous. She makes a point. Oh, I'm hungry. I'm getting hungry watching anime. Let me think something. Oh yeah, let's be cooking. What? Suddenly, like, 1 enemy appears. Yeah, okay. So they aren't terror. He's got a mushroom. He's like, we can probably eat this mushroom, right? No! Yada! Yada! It's like, who knows? It's a mushroom. You can eat mushrooms. It's pretty healthy, yeah. Mushrooms are pretty healthy, man. This guy really wants to be cooking, man. He wants to cook food. Oh, he got some adventure book. It's like, this thing is great. Yeah, I read his recipe. How to eat mushrooms. Oh, you can eat scorpion, of course. You can eat that. He also wants to do this, right? His dream has been to be like, scorpion! That's like a lobster on land! Yeah. Wow! Yeah, it's like, oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, now it's like a shop inside there. Oh, he's gonna... maybe they're scorpions. And you can, of course, eat scorpions. Here we go. Yeah, he's gonna eat a scorpion. You can, of course, eat scorpions. I don't know, it's a very tasty food. I've never eaten it, but... I've eaten lobsters many times. But yeah, but it is similar, you know, it's like a exoskeleton animal, yeah. Yeah, you've been waiting to this, right? It's like, no! It's clearly been in his mind for a while. He's like, no! But doesn't that lobster looks pretty interesting to you guys? It's like, no. Yeah, he's just like, look at... He's a clearly person. Yes. Okay. Yes, now the village here. It's like a mushroom and scorpions. Yeah, I mean. Oh, he's like, okay, oh god. Yeah, he's gonna learn how to fight them. He's like, oh, the mushroom is weaker in this point. I understand now. Yeah. I understand how it works now, okay. We got tofu. Then a lobster. Yeah, it might be poisonous, scorpion. Now you can eat it. It's like, what? How did you know that? Hontoni? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Let's be cooking these things. You can't eat the poison. I'm pretty sure you can eat scorpion poison. I read it in a book somewhere. And got the dwarf. He's gonna join the party, of course. The dwarf guy. He's like, I know how to eat scorpion. Yeah, he's like, oh, I know how to cook, guys. Let me teach you. Okay, this is how you eat scorpion. It's land lobster, baby. Land lobster time. Okay, that book sounds terrible. It's like, keep learning the book here. No, the dwarf, man, he knows how to cook, man. He's a master chef, clearly. He's just like, oh, look at this. All the delicious lobster meat. That shit looks pretty tasty, yeah. It's like a giant lobster. Okay, yeah, the dwarf knows like everything. He's like, oh, this is how you cook mushroom and... Yeah, oh yeah, they got a nice smell. Yeah, okay, this mushroom smell extra good, and they need to have a bigger pot. Like, I love this dwarf guy. I got my own pot. Yeah. The dwarf delivers, man. He's like, oh no, I got a much bigger pot, guys. I got you, bros. I got you. Yeah, the dwarf is cooking, man. This one be cooking. He's like. Yeah, he's just like, oh, this thing is great, and yeah, he knows everything. He's like, come on, I got cookies and lobsters, meat. He's like, he's prepared, man. His roots. Yeah, this guy is a freaking king of cooking, man. He's got a Gordon Ramsay of Dungeon Adventure. Oh, it's like a monster in the roof or something. Oh, like a slime monster. Oh, I see. Yeah, it's a slime monster. Yeah, I guess you can't use magic. Yeah, it's like a silence, I guess. I mean, certainly it's based on video game logic. The dwarf's gonna help her, I guess. He knows how to cook slimes, probably. Oh my god. It's also like level 1000. Oh, here we go. The dwarf is a king of everything. He's like, oh yeah, the slime. They have the heart over here. Yeah, you should use this thing. Is this thing? He knows like everything, man. He's just like, it's exactly how a slime works. Oh, if you scream, it goes after your face. Oh yeah, okay. That's a pretty cool interesting. That the slime is like activated by sound, so when she started screaming, that is why it went after her, because she was the loudest human. So it'd be interesting, like, backstory here to the monsters. Oh yes. Okay, so you slime, you have to wait for 2 weeks until, okay. This dwarf guy. I got a portable slime cooker. Oh, this is great. You can dry it like this, and you wait for 2 weeks in the backpack. My God, this dwarf is a king, man. He's like, ah, I'm ready for us. Yeah, I got a slime cooker. Oh my God, the dwarf is the best, man. The dwarf is the best, man. I think it's a dwarf. He might actually be a human. I think it's a dwarf right there. He might be a human, but he's like too short, probably. He also might be a muscular, tiny human, I guess. He doesn't look, I don't know. Okay, so now he made like a... Here we go. Yeah, he made like a cute little pot here, yeah. Like lobster mushroom soup. It looks pretty nice. Man. Oh my! This is so anime. It's always like, oh my! Yeah, it's always amazing. In anime, when they eat food, it's always, oh my! Yeah, see? I refuse to eat it, yeah. Oh my! Yeah, I want to eat it. Just nani kore? Yeah, it's like, I don't want to eat it, but it's gonna be oh my. Oh shit! Yeah, oh my! This every cooking anime is always the best food ever. Every cooking anime is always like, oh she, oh my! Yeah, it's always the greatest food ever. It's always like the next food you eat is the best food ever. Next episode's gonna be like, this is the best food ever eaten. Episode 10, this is the best food ever eaten. You know, it's always like that. Every episode it keeps just getting better and better, right? It keeps getting better and better. All the time. Every episode. Oh, it's beautiful. And no one around seems to care at all. No one seems to care for a second that they're doing it. It was like, oh, it's kind of like frowned upon to eat lobsters. Like, no one cares. No one cares. Wait, are they gonna save his sister though? His sister is like down there, but it seems to be very casual about it. Yeah, I have a sister, but yeah, she's probably fine. Yes, like, it seems to be very casual about it. Yeah, he's like, you know, we have probably have he's a dragon. Yeah, it's like a red dragon, but you know. He's like, oh, the dragon test right there. Exactly. So they're like, oh, if you got more time on us. Yeah, so almost the dwarves will join the party. Of course he will. Of course he's gonna join the party. He's the Gordon Ramsay of the party. He's like the chef, man. Yeah, this dwarf is like, he's amazing. Yeah, he just want to eat the dragon, right? He just want to eat the dragon. Can I join the party? I really want to eat a hamburger dragon. This is like, yeah, this will be awesome. He just wants to eat the dragon, of course. He doesn't care about saving the friend. He's just like, I really want to taste the dragon. Yeah, no, Nash was like, wait, should we eat the dragon? Yeah, like, what should we do with that, though? I like I knew it. The dwarf he just wants to taste it. He's like, yeah, I will help save your friend. And also get this thing. And doesn't even care about the reward for the actual dragon, like the treasure. Maybe not. He's only out there to be. He's just like a chef, man. He's just like, I want to cook. He's like, I don't care about it. He's like, I don't care about the drop, you know. I'm just here for the food. Yeah, it's like, oh my God. Why did they get more stats? Okay, she's like... But yeah, it looks really crisp though. I mean, the anime looks fantastic, like in this sense, and they're walking on this bridge. You know, it looks like a typical fantasy role-playing game, right? But it looks, you know, beautiful color and... Yeah, it looks really good, honestly. It's just like straight up, right, you know. It's like, you know, great visual as well. Like, it's clearly well made, right? I got this Scorpion drink here. It's like, what? I mean, I guess you could eat... Metal! Yeah! Living armor, right? It's a metal! We can't eat that! Yes, always that person hates every restaurant. There's always that person that dislikes every restaurant in the neighborhood. Yeah, let's try to enjoy this. He's very excited for this. Yeah, let's try to enjoy it. Okay, you can just fruits. Yeah, these vegetables, they're all like... Okay. Oh, do you eat bugs or something? Well, I guess it's educational anime, because this is basically like real life plants, but it's a little more fantasy touch to them. Yeah, and then it eats... Oh yeah, it just makes them... It doesn't actually eat... yeah, it just makes them into a plant or something. What? Yeah, it's like... Yeah, this is like low level, super easy. He says that now and he opens the jinx them. Suddenly a boss will appear, like a plant boss. Okay, she's pissed off. Yeah, she's like a fire magician maybe. I mean, she's clearly the mage, right? She's the elf lady, so she's clearly the typical mage. She's gonna have magical powers, I guess. Oh, he's like, no, you're gonna ruin the food or something. No, she gets... Yeah, it's like, no! Exactly, you're gonna ruin the food with your magic. What a noob. There we go. Some of the plants do it. Not that other plant. I was talking about that plant, yeah. There are different plant enemies. Woman, you're just a noob. You're just a noob. Come on. That Machine-chan, like this plant does that thing. The other plant only makes compost, okay? What a noob. It's like... That makes sense though, yeah. What the hell? What? Yeah, like her wand like fell on her face in a really silly way. What was that? That was mean. Oh yeah, that was mean, man. That wand fell on her face. Jesus Christ. Yes, exactly. This thing is super friendly. It's basically like a cuddly little cat or something. Yeah, it's like perfect. A puppy, basically. She's just like... I think she's mad at me. It's like a little puppy. Yeah, you can just pet it. It's like, no. Also, it's tomato, right? I mean, it's basically tomatoes. It's like large tomatoes. Yeah, like it's just the fruits. Yeah, this is just large tomatoes, clearly. Yeah, it's like... Exactly, gonna pull out the top, which usually... Oh, no! Then it has some kind of weird seeds though, but... It's clearly like a tomato. It's like a some kind of fantasy large tomato. Which actually in reality you probably will have bigger tomatoes in the future. Like, yeah, you can grow them better and so on. Yeah, so doesn't seem too far from reality. It's like a twice the size tomato, right? You know. And he's making like a pie or something. No! I like how he's just like, what if what if we can plant it on top of the... we can probably have our own tomato land at our house. So it's got to be evil tomatoes. Nah! It's like... You're gonna love it. This is... The dwarf is like, well, we should have used those plants. They taste better. It's like, stop it, dwarf, stop it. It's gonna be oh my, of course. It's always oh my. Here we go. Oh, she! Oh, God, why? Yeah, this tomato taste. This he made like a tomato pie or something. It really looks like a tomato, 100%. Yeah, look, it's a tomato. It's just like a giant tomato, right? But maybe it's like a fantasy, right? So maybe they just don't know what tomato is, right? Maybe they don't have tomatoes where they're from, right? This is like medieval Europe, so maybe they don't have tomatoes yet or something. Even though Europe has a lot of tomatoes, I know, but I mean, like, you know, from what they are from. Is this longer? I'm pretty sure the timer is... Yeah, 23 minutes. Let's see, how long is it? Yeah, the episode is like 26, whatever. Slightly longer episode. I don't know why that is, but whatever. Just leave it here. Someone probably, yes, do that. Someone probably takes care of it later. They're pretty weird. They're not really heroic. They're kind of like... I mean, they want to save his sister though, so that's heroic, I suppose. But then you just leave that thing there, what? Yeah, eat or be eaten. It feels very strange how they just letting it leave it there. And yeah, then his sister at the top. I feel like they're never gonna save the sister. No, I feel it's like the whole anime is about saving his sister, and I feel they're never gonna get there because they're like slowly going there in like slow motion. Here comes the opening, maybe. This might be the ending, but the sister is only healer though, so they probably should save his sister because she's the healer, right? Yeah, I reckon that's a samurai dude. He might join the party as well then. Kind of filling out the part, and a giant lady. Yeah, the giant also might join, right? And then, like, maybe a knight? Who's the singer? That's his sister, probably, in the opening here? Maybe. Yeah, it's sister, right? Kinda sad. Oh, it's Bob of Chicken! Oh, yeah, but it was like a weird, slower song for them. Much slower, honestly. Bump of Chicken with this kind of... Yeah, I was like, I recognize it, but it felt very weird. Like, it's just very... It's like one of the slower songs, yeah. And then maybe like a rogue girl. Oh. A Griffon, maybe? Yeah, this is not like the best song from Battle Chicken, definitely not. One of my all-time favorite bands, but yeah, it kind of irritated me because it really didn't feel like a typical Bump of Chicken song, honestly. Quite surprising that was Bump of Chicken. Even though it was so recognizable to me, like the actual the singer, right? You know, his voice, but it just felt like it wasn't very remotely close to it, how it usually sounds, right? It was very strange. Yeah, very, very like slow beat, kind of like, you know, song from them. But anyway, I'm gonna go back a bit here. We see Martin's character appearing. So we see like, yeah, we got a giant girl, we saw her, and then it's like maybe like another elf mage of sorts. Whereas when I think about it, maybe the red, I thought it was like a giant. She's actually probably a dwarf, right? Because it's just that she looks really giant in this scene, but then the dwarf's also really giant. So this woman isn't probably a giant right now. She's just like really big in that scene for whatever reason. Like they made, I mean, basically the other character is standing out. So he's a dwarf and he's like a giant, right, compared to the humans next to him. So basically, like the party members are just like 100 times bigger, I guess. So no, that woman there isn't a giant. She's just like a dwarf or something, I think. Given how she looks and her outfit and so on. Oz might be a party member. And the samurai probably will join someone, right? When I think about it, it makes it more it's obvious now that no, they're actually bigger. I didn't think about it first. Silly. The thing is that yes, now when I think about it, that's obviously what I mean, right? Like he's standing here, he's obviously a lot bigger than the people behind him. But the thing is that he's also next to the camera, to the perspective, right? So he's supposed to be a giant, right? But also he could be next to the camera. So it's a little bit weird because this is actually the same thing. He's supposed to be like standing on the ground, I guess, and he's like a giant, and they're walking around him like in a temple. But also he could just be next to what we are viewing. So it wasn't that clear actually that the other character were just massive compared to. But the redhead woman, she was standing outside like a temple, right, or maybe like a tower. And of course she was like as tall as the tower, so then it was obvious, okay, she's like doing that. The mage lady was standing in the water in front of the ships, right? Again, that's like, okay, maybe she's bigger, but also she's next to us and the ships are somewhere in the distance, so it wasn't as clear, right? Confusing ending, or opening perhaps. Let's review it. I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was good. But it absolutely genuinely felt like the least Trigger show I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, like this could be done by any other studio. And this is actually what I was afraid of 100%, right? And I really want to just stress on it. So, if you go back to like the scene where like the wand drops or... I don't know, it was funny. I was she's screaming when she's just like, I don't want to eat slime or something. Yeah, like she looks like all, angry team or whatever, right? Some scene... Yeah, like this thing here is a good scene. Not disappointing. No, I was listening to screaming. What is it? Oh, here it is. This is at the perfect angle. Which is all like depressed or something. There it is. Bam, right? So, Studio Triger, right? I mean, this could be... This anime looks really good. It looks fantastic. The colors are great, the expressions are great, and so on. So it really feels like, okay, there's a Trigger. Trigger are, well known for the proper animation. Sakaga, right, and so on, and they're very, skilled at what they're doing, right? However, though, this looks great, it gives me a bit of like Little Witch Academia, her face, she's angry, sad, and so on, very Akko face thing, but this could be done by any other studio. I mean, generally, right, yeah, the quality is high. It's very high quality, but it doesn't feel like Trigger. The storyline is clearly not written by them, right? So, it's like I expected. This anime is good, but it has nothing to do really with the Trigger so far. Like, it's very, very clear this is a manga, chapter by chapter, and Trigger is just animating, So it looks great, but again, the storyline and the characters are nothing like how Trigger usually writes them, right? So it doesn't feel like a Trigger show at all. Not for a second. And even the animation, while they're great, they're not really as expressional, right? As extroverted and so on, as Trigger usually is. They're kind of, a little bit less edgy, so to speak. So, while a good episode, I think, pretty good episode 1, it really, as honestly as I expected, didn't feel like Trigger at all, right? Like, it can be done by any other studio with a good animators or like a high budget, right? Which sounds like a weird thing to say, but I think the important thing is that Trigger has like a very unique style of doing stuff, right? And this anime doesn't capture that at all. But like I said at the beginning of the video, of course, why is because this is like the only anime they have done in years that are based on a manga, where every other anime they make is original content, right? So this anime definitely stands out as, I feel it's like the worst Trigger show, in a way, right? At least from a Trigger feel to it. This might still be the best anime they ever did, but it really doesn't feel like it's too Trigger at all. It could be any other studio, again, with a high budget, because it doesn't show you any Trigger stuff, right? So, but that had to say first. Otherwise, let's ignore that it's made by Trigger, okay? Let's just review it, first impression, right? And pretend that's another studio. Because I don't want to say the anime is bad, because the episode was pretty good, right? Yeah, it was a pretty good episode. I don't want to sit there and say that, oh, this is terrible. But I have to fail I felt there was, I don't know, what do you think? But I really do feel that, this doesn't capture anything to do with Trigger, right? But I digress. Otherwise, yeah, it's a pretty funny episode. The dwarf, clearly the funniest character. He's the master chef rat coming in like, oh, you guys, I got my own pot. He's like, I got a way bigger pot for this. And he's all like, oh yeah, and the best part when he had the slime thing, when he had like his, oh, this is how you can dry it. I got this dryer. Yeah, he reminds me of those things, like you always see that in like MasterChef or the cooking shows. And my father is very much like this, but he used to be a chef, right? So it's different, I feel, in his defense. But there's always that guy, right, in like MasterChef and so on, that has every cooking, oh, I got a smoker, oh, I got this thing to salt it. It's always that guy that has like, 25 different equipment, right? I got these gadgets that can do everything. Oh, this is like a cooking pressure thing, It's always someone, right, that is that character. And they all go crazy over their, like, foodie, foodie equipment, right? My dad is, like I said, very much that person. At home, he got like he got a smoker, he got that thing, he got a fryer, he got everything, right? An air fryer, he got everything. But like I said, he used to be a chef. So I think in his defense, even though he is that person that is like, oh, I bought this thing, he really is that guy, and he's like, come over, boy, I'm gonna make you this new soy, like we show his new equipment, right? He really is that person, like seriously. But like I said, I think for his defense, because he was a chef for like, I don't know, maybe like 8 years, something like that. He was like a chef before I was born. Yeah, so he was chef for like maybe 10 years then. And then he started working with like petroleum engineering and so on. But before that was chef. Navy chef and then chef on the land and so on. So, he for him at least, it's like, well, he had a lot of years of being a chef, right? And he got that like the background, and then he went, okay, I'll do, whatever. But, so he got a lot of experience making different food and, stuff that he likes and so on. And obviously, one reason why he's changed job is because his salary is like much, much higher, right? He works at like in Norway most of them, different oil stuff, right? So it's a much, much more money. And then of course now he has a lot more money, so he can spend that money on buying, cooking stuff, right? So for him it's like better because he loves to cook, right? But as a chef, he has to cook food, for whatever, guests, right? But now he got like 3-4 times the salary, and he can then buy all the different gadgets, as I mentioned, right? And then, of course, use that to make fun food instead of for himself and his family, right? So he actually preferred this way, right? Now he has a job that he actually likes less, because he tells me all the time he actually wants to be a chef, right? Constantly. But at the same time, now he actually got more equipment for cook food because his salary is so much higher. And honestly, on a side note, I think it's interesting as well, right? Because often I discuss with people like, is this worth stepping back in the game industry, be a game designer and so on? To some extent, it isn't, because, your job is funny or whatever, but usually your salary is terrible and so on, right? And in my own experience as well, because I've been a game designer for many years, right? And I've been an IT consultant and all the engineering works. And to some extent, right, for example, when I first swapped from game designer to like IT consulting a couple of years ago, like 10 years ago, then I got back and forth, right? But I did that, like I doubled my salary. I think I tripled my salary in like 2-3 years. And suddenly it's like, okay, I don't enjoy every hour at the work as much, but instead I bring him a lot of money at home, right? So now I can just buy every video game. I can buy every figure I want because I'm rich instead, basically, right? So that's gonna have my father. He's like, he prefers job A, but job B pays like 3-4 times the salary. Like, well, okay, actually job B is so much better, because even if you don't enjoy those hours at work as much, you get so much more fun stuff to do after work. That being said, though, just to point out here, as a game designer, for example, that is an enjoyable job, right? But I've had other jobs which I actually have enjoyed more. Not necessarily game design or whatever, but it's like one thing. This is like a dark thing, not a news at all, right? But while game design probably is like the funniest job ever to be a game designer, the actual people around you are terrible. No, but like it's not as fun, right? Because the issue is that I have other jobs. For example, I worked as, I'm not telling too much here, but how can I say it? I'm a game designer, and after I was a game designer, and 3 years later, after quitting being a game designer as an IT consultant for 3 years, after that I was like the designer, service designer at this gigantic power plant kind of thing, right? And that actually was more fun. It was more fun because even though game design in general is funnier, this was like complicated product. There was so much thing to do and all this like really interesting math and stuff, right? So actually it was more enjoyable, and I had a 3 times the salary, so that was like a much better deal, right? But the worst thing, honestly, usually is actually the co-workers, right? Game development is kind of like, like me, but people are cray, right? A little more cray individuals, where if you work at like a power plant or something, it's actually a much better work environment. So they have to also judge that as well, right? Like your task might be less fun, but everything around it is better. So anyway, very different spin of this video now. No, but it also reminds me, cooking always makes me think about my dad, right? But like I said, I think my father really exemplifies that. He kind of like took another job, got education, another thing, and just like, I don't know, quadrupled his salary, something like that, right? In like one swap, basically, yeah. Like he went from like, mediocre pay as a chef, right? Into like, I work in oil rigs, so he like, yeah, maybe even more. I don't know how much money he made in between, but he basically like quadrupled or like, 5-6 times his salary. But I think it's like 4 times, I think, told me. So something like that, right? So like a ridiculous amount of more money suddenly. And then you can buy, for example, and have your own kitchen and your own house, right? To suddenly be like the greatest chef place ever. So that is a very interesting, I think, life experience. And I really do tell people this because I think it's interesting about it, Like, do you actually want to have your dream job? Or do you want to have a job that is And just to be fair though, you don't want to have a job, you don't want to have a job, whatever, which you really despise. Don't get me wrong, right? Like, my dad doesn't hate his job, right? Now, I don't, like I said, I have sometimes enjoyed other engineering stuff and science stuff and so on, right? Besides scientific stuff, when I worked as a scientist, I have enjoyed it more sometimes than doing video games, or equally, right? They're different, but they're equally fun, so to speak, right? And like, you don't have to, like, just because you're swapping from A to B doesn't mean that suddenly B is the worst thing ever, right? Maybe it's like 80% as enjoyable, but you make double the money. Then I think doing B is way better because, okay, slightly worse every day, so to speak, at the work, but you get so much more, stuff to do with your life, right? So it really depends, right? It really depends. But of course, I do tell people though. Some people are like, should I do X thing? I see this question all the time on Reddit. People are like, should I become an engineer or something? I hate math, I hate this thing and so on, but the salary is great. Like, no. If you hate everything, if you dislike everything in this subject, right? If you dislike everything with like math, science, so on, you shouldn't become an engineer just to make money because you're gonna load every day at work, right? But if you are an engineer and you love being an engineer, swapping from A to B place, that's maybe it's a slightly worse place to be an engineer at, but you get double salary. Yes, do that then, because you're gonna have way more fun after work, right? And if it's slightly more boring, go for it, right? But don't be those people that just take a job because it's like, it's their, you just want the money. You're never gonna be happy with that. And also, those people tend to be very unskilled as well, right? So they also make less money, because if you force yourself into a work category, which you despise, and then you're in that, you had to like really, really work, force yourself to learn math or whatever, and you hate math or that, you're not going to be very good at it, right? And so you're not going to have much career anyway, because, your coworkers are there because they like it. They're going to be obviously way better at it, at least as general knowledge. And, they're going to get the promotion probably. So, it's going to be good anyway, yeah, and hard if you learn so on. Anyway, long video now, but like a life lesson of me more than here. But yeah, it reminds me of my dad. Cooking someone. Also, what is about like souma, right? Because obviously my dad is Yorichi. So, but anyway, guys, video subscribe, press the like button, guys. And I think we're gonna watch. There were 2 more animes today. I wanna watch at least like the Isekai and see if it's trash or not. Then I see you guys have a great day.